the race like it did last tournament, but they got to complete dungeons and the bosses are randomized. My name is NY Rambler. Joining me on commentary today is Mentos Man 8. How are we doing today?
Doing pretty good. Had a little nap before this got going to make sure I'm nice and awake for it.
And both our runners looks to be underway with 10 arrows in Link's house. So standard mode, you're going to see them do this first part, this 6-minute ring sequence, rescue Zelda, bring her to Sanctuary, which you usually do in the vanilla game. But because it's randomized swords, the weapon you'll get from Uncle will be one of 7 options to help you take care of the enemies along the way. Could be Fire Rod, could be Hammer, could be the 10 Bomb Pack. Let's see what we're going to get. We will have the Bow.
It's kind of an ideal start. It's progression immediately and also just a very good weapon for escape.
Yeah. And normally we would think, hey, I got the bow, let's go to Eastern. Well, here's the thing. You don't need the bow for Eastern. Actually, in Standard you do, because in Standard Randomizer you do, but Armor Knights might not be there. You might go to Eastern, and instead of facing Armor Knights, you might get someone like Colts there, and you need Fire Rod to beat it. So it's not like the bow is automatically opening Eastern House up to you guys.
Yeah, in addition to the normal, well, you don't have the lamp part of it, you also got, well, this might not actually do damage to the boss, since a good chunk of bosses don't actually take damage from the bow.
Yeah, so the Eastern play will probably not pan out like it normally would if you have an early bow. Standard randomized swords scenario. And they get their bombs, so they don't have to worry about farming anymore.
Yep, always nice to have those in a chest. You don't have to worry about one runner not getting bombs and ending up losing a solid chunk of time just because RNG didn't like you.
And we apologize for the setup right now. We're trying to get our broadcast operators to get to what you guys are used to seeing. But for now, our runners are underway, so we will continue to commentate even without the normal setup we have.
Just 1 rupee out of the boomerang chest, which, I mean, honestly is probably about as useful as the vanilla contents of that chest.
Well, the boomerang in NMG gets used sometimes, so it's not totally useless. But in Randomizer, it's okay, but I'd rather have it over a green rupee for sure.
Yeah, I guess it's a little bit better, you know, and when you get to GT, it's a benefit.
Zelda sells 20 rupees, so we know that the key will be vanilla in the sewers.
Yep, and on Aries' side, he's going to hope to get another 10 drops somewhere, just so he's got enough money ahead of time to, for sure, be able to afford the bottle vendor in Kakariko. Fear did not get a 20 drop that Aries did, so he's kind of sitting farther back from that. Now, on the long walk back up from Zelda Cell, all the way back to the sewers. Probably not the most exciting point of the run for anyone who plays this game, but there are a couple little things you can do here and there to try to minimize how much time it takes to try to get through it as quickly and cleanly as possible. And for those unfamiliar, Eriror is a high-level NMG player, so for the most part, his execution, especially when it comes to just moving through different rooms, different areas, is pretty high caliber.
Hey, there we go. Now we get the setup all done. Yeah, Eriror is, I don't know if he's top 10 or top 20, but he is one of the top NMG runners in the world, so his movement will be flawless, and I'm sure he's happy with the standard mode.
Get that vanilla key there. We gotta go face the final boss of Escape, the Key Rat, which is laughably easy with the bow. I like that just dream shot. Just fire the bow to the left and hope the rat's there.
Yeah. Some Chrono Trigger players might call that a wonder shot.
Nap, there's 50, and the hammer. Hammer's nice.
Yeah, really hammer always nice to see.
I'd say the hammer kind of puts back some value to that quick jump to Eastern, just because hammer can kill most of the things bow can't. Not all, but most of them.
Yeah, hammer can help you out in some case. Like, it'll help if it's a Mothula, you can kill Mothula with the hammer. You can kill most bosses with the hammer. And Canis and Mario, you can kill blind with that.
Yep, doesn't help other than that for quite a while, since Meyer and T-Rock are usually relatively late in the seed, but it's nice to have early.
Yeah. And we see a penance check. We saw crystals, regular crystals at Eastern and at Desert. We saw a pennant at Hera. Again, we're new in all dungeons, so it's only going to matter for access to Ganus Tower or the pedestal.
Yep, usually your main targets are figuring out what's the green pendant and the 5-6 crystal, just because those unlock extra items, and kind of rolling with everything else.
Nice tree pull for FEARAgent, getting some bombs from the tree pull. Eriror did drop down first. The mushroom spot's a piece of heart. FEARAgent's going to say no thank you to that. Eriror will probably do the same here. Get his bombs. FEARAgent will get their 50 rupees, and they'll be making their way over to Kakariko.
I support everyone's decision to skip a random piece of heart in the very beginning of the seed.
Alright, the reason why it says Randomizer, but because you're seeing the vanilla enemies, when it's standard mode and Randomizer together, the game doesn't really agree with the setup. So the Randomizer will only apply to the bosses.
Yeah, ideally long-term that's going to be switched where standard will work with actual enemy shuffle, but at the moment it can make a completely impassable seed, so they decided to just make it bosses only to make it available, but a little bit easier.
Yeah. And we see the Moon Pearl here in Blind's Hut, so we are now power glove away from Dark World access.
And other than that, just a lot of money, which is pretty consistent with what this area is in vanilla. So, you know, get some bottle vendor, it's going to afford some money for more bombs if they want to buy them, but not really anything big.
Yeah, so one of the downsides about standard is everyone's going to do the same route pretty much every time, so you'll see these runners walking each other's footsteps. You'll see the Quake Medallion here. You see the rupees. We now have Zora money, but we're going to about to spend 100 of this to the bottle vendor.
Yep, and it will be interesting to see if they vary up the route at all after Kakariko, since they do have a few options open. But it's kind of rare in standard to see people jump anywhere but Kakariko early, yeah.
If this wasn't boss shuffle, you might have seen someone make a play to Eastern Palace, but because you're not guaranteed to beat the boss, at this point there's only very few bosses you can beat with just hammer. It doesn't really make too much sense to go there until you have at least a sword.
Final check of Kakariko here, back of the bar, is, hey, there's that sword.
Alright, we're saying. So now, going to Eastern, I think there's only 2 enemies you won't be able to kill, and that's Cold... 3 enemies. Cold Steel, Argus, Trinex. You can't kill any of those, but you can kill every other boss that might show up there.
Yep, so it's a pretty safe bet to make.
Now, to be fair, if it's Vitreous, these runners will have a very tough time, but they can kill Vitreous. It might just take a while.
Oh, Fighter Sword Vitreous is always such a joy.
The bow and hammer does help, but not. It's still gonna be a pain, especially with low health.
So Eri at least making the play straight down here to the south shore. We'll see if FEARAgent follows along.
And it looks like yes, these two runners will be doing. Again, following the route that most players make when they play standard mode, which is after Kakariko, come down to the damn mini Moldorm Cave. Then usually you'll see the paths branch out a little bit. Little sank card action in the damn first chest.
Gotta love seeing that early so that you know you're not going to get it while about to set up a death warp later.
So it could have been a key refill if you're down to like 2-3 hearts while you have like 10 or 11. You know, upsides and downsides.
Another set of 10
now.
arrows.
Yep. Eriror heading over to mini Moldorm Cave now.
At this point, mainly, the glove is going to open up the most. There are a few items that might open up little bits of the world, but a glove would open up a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah, glove opens up pretty much all of the Dark World, except for, I think, Death Mountain.
Shout out to that mini Moldorm for dodging that bomb like an expert.
There's your power glove. So we're going to have early Dark World access.
We also get a fairy in a bottle, so next time they head over to Kakariko, they'll be able to turn that into Sick Kid, see if maybe he's got something of value. Still gonna head over here to Ice Rod Cave, despite getting that glove and all the Dark World access, because otherwise you're probably never coming back. Walking right into his own bomb. Who is this Eri guy? He must be such a scrub.
And gets a shield for his troubles coming here to Ice Rod Cave. He might set up Fake Flipper and go to Zora now. He has all the rupees.
And he's got that Moon Pearl, so he can check the Waterfall Fairy. The commonly unknown bit of the Water Walk from the fairy that you need the Moon Pearl to make it work.
I think FEARAgent's heading straight to Hype Cave and to the Dark World.
Yep, sticking with the logic isn't really a bad decision. A lot of times Fake Flippers ends up maybe even hurting you, but at the same time there are those seeds where it pays off so big it's like, okay, this was well worth it.
The other pendants are Pod and Thieves Town, and the Pyramid Fairy Crystals open up with Ice Palace and Skull Woods.
And Thieves Town being that green pendant means they could already get that. I wouldn't be surprised to see someone clear that out before ever going to the Eastern Palace area.
Nice blue mail from the hobo. Always nice to have a little defensive advantage, especially with only 5 hearts. And gets the Fake Flipper back. As we see Hype Cave, we see a piece of heart from the Generous guy in front. And in the back, there's a lot of explosives, some magic powder, and the Titan's Mitts.
That is a real nice spot for Titan's Mitts, because now you can just kind of walk right along a nice little loop into Village of Outcasts, instead of having to save and quit and all that.
Yeah, definitely makes routing a lot easier.
Here's the super difficult water walking glitch. Swim into the cave, swim back out of the cave, and hey, you're water walking.
And you get a sword, and another bottle.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm really enjoying the show-off chest turns on every chest Eriror is opening.
He might be good at this game, I'm not sure.
Maybe just a little bit. They'll save you, like, a minor amount of frames, but
He's pumping. He's pumping. Sorry, he was pumping pretty well up there. You can call me up. You can call FEARAgent on that if you want. Oh, and a tempered sword. So 2 swords up in the Zora area.
it's a pretty solid payout. Doesn't affect logic at all, so you don't have to worry about any kind of shenanigans on that front. But that tempered sword is going to be a huge help over Fear's spider sword.
And a boomerang. It's a digging game.
Now, I got to assume that Fear is going to head right into Thieves Town after checking the Village of Outcast stuff up here, get that cleared out. This is all dungeons, so they've got to clear everything anyway, so who really cares it's a pendant? Just jump in there right away and start clearing it out.
Yeah, especially with the green pendant, that means when you make it first with Sahasrara, it'll be your last trip as well.
Though he did grab the blacksmith right away, so he's not actually going to be able to do Thieves Town on this particular trip.
He's out of plan. Looks like he wants to do. Maybe he's just putting off bosses for a while because he knows it's enemy. He doesn't want to risk going into a Pulse there or a Trinex.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea to try to avoid the double dips in the dungeons. Ooh.
Boots being there is always the biggest troll because usually you want the boots to clear out the hammer pegs.
Yeah, between that and Spiral Cave, the 2 places you just never want to see boots. So it'll be interesting to see if Eri makes the point to do hammer pegs while he's over here. Or if he makes a little bit different routing and misses out on those for a while.
If you want to talk about killing bosses, the Silver Arrows make them a lot easier as well. And they're here in Village of Outcasts.
Any boss arrows can damage, they damage a whole lot more.
Yeah, now we don't mind running to Vitrius. Vitrius will go down in a heartbeat with Silver Arrows.
So if you're going to check out the C-shaped house, see what's going on in here, it is 20 bucks.
Only 1/15 as good as vanilla. Looks like FEARAgent's gonna be doing the Northern Dark World check as well. Check what's at the Rubber Cave, and I think there's gonna be a dead end for him. So he's just gonna save a quit and return to Blacksmith here. 50 rupees, so cape not required.
And the benefit of this route for him is he's going to be able to bring that bottle to Sick Kid, and then just has to go back to the Dark World when he gets back to turning in the blacksmith and everything to continue on from there.
Yep, he goes to check King's Tomb here on the way, so it's going to work out for him.
And Eri did not, in fact, head to Hammer Pegs right away. He might still do it before he leaves the area.
Fire Rod and King's Tomb, so those boots are going to be pretty essential. And Eri is heading over to Hammer Pegs, looks like. So this is going to pay off for him.
Yep, he is going to be a happy person when he finds those boots. I think this is, what, about, like, 5 minutes after you have boots and NMG? It's already a waste of time.
So, people are asking in chat if this is really an Randomizer, seeing all the enemies in the overall shuffle. If you're just tuning in, the way the Randomizer works for standard mode is that it doesn't. Could be soft locks involved, or the logic hasn't really been figured out yet. So, for standard mode, we do not have the Randomizer in place, except for bosses. So, all the bosses will be shuffled in its usual chaos shuffle. And the Ryer with the defense dash, I'm going to give a shout out to Emosara for that. Because she loves herself some defense dashes.
I still have never learned how to actually make that happen consistently. I get it about, like, 10% of the time I try.
It's something I never try because, one, I don't run MG that often, and two, I'm not that good enough. But it is fun to watch whenever you see these top runners do these tricks that are pretty much essential for top level play. Like I said, Eriror with around a 125 NMG time.
He's about to head into Thieves Town here. Fear's gonna check out Magic Bat, make use of that powder they found.
Yeah, the only downside here for Eriror is if the boss is either close there or is exactly close there. Whoa, Mirror is at the Magic Bat.
This scene is too friendly early. This is so many items.
This is one of those things where it's like the ice rod's gonna be so late. So Eriror was in his Vanilla Link outfit. They got bunny forms.
Curious how he's going to route this. I know one of the things that I like to do that I've seen other people do in Randomizer Thieves Town is go straight to the boss room, kill that, and then continue on to the back from there, instead of going all the way around the loop. That way there you can save and quit out of the basement. It's a little bit quicker on that front.
Yeah, plus you can see if the boss is even killable. And Eriror is not. He's going to go the normal way.
Yep, benefit of this route is you get those extra couple chests, so maybe if it's a cold stare, you find the fire rod, if it's an Argus, you find the hook shot, so on and so forth. You're kind of hedging your bets by going this way.
Yeah. And he's not going to pop up to see the hint just yet. Maybe when he comes back. Let's check out the hint tile here. We haven't seen any hint tiles yet so far, 21 minutes in.
I just want to give a shout out. I love the way that bonk landed him perfectly on the spike, and then the spike hit him right back where he was when he bonked. So, minor thing for those unfamiliar with Randomizer, when the bosses are randomized, you don't need to blow up the hole in the ceiling. The maiden does not exist in Thieves Town, you don't have to bring her back up to the front. You just go in the boss room and the boss is there.
Yeah, save a little bit of time here in Thieves Town. And some cash in Dark Village. Yeah, we saw that already. And we're going to take a peek at what the boss is, and it is Helmstar King. We can defeat this one.
Yep, and with the silver arrows on Fear's side, with the tempered sword on Eriror's side, either way, they both got some pretty easy kills ahead of them.
Yeah, easy, taken care of. No troubles with the Helmstar this early with the hammer and silver arrows.
Just crossing my fingers for the lovely Helmasaur on Moldorm platform, which is just an awful fight.
You're evil. Alright, so it looks like the small key is locked inside the big chest, so we're not going to lose any time. Fear is not going to lose any time to that, I don't think. He's going to go back in and check the back, and there's nothing really much back here, but of course he doesn't know that. Orion now on to killing Helmasaur.
This is a pretty straightforward fight. Once you get used to it, trying to hammer him like Eriror's doing without having the sword out isn't too bad. He chooses to do some tempered sword slashes instead of menuing to silvers for the final phase there.
Yeah, plus the silvers can be a little finicky, so if you're... I mean, he's probably consistent with using the hammer or sword anyway from NMG.
Looks like he is going to come down and grab the blacksmith, so theoretically by the end of his upcoming moves, he's going to be kind of right where Fear is. They just did things in a slightly different order.
Yeah, so he's going... Well, he might not... Oh, he is, okay. I was just saying, if he was... I thought he was going to go to Link's house. If he goes to Link's house, he wouldn't be able to check King's Tomb. He's going to check King's Tomb now. He'll get his fire rod. And when it's all said and done, he'll have his mirror, and they will be back on even footing. The only difference is that Eriror did already go up to Zora area and got 2 additional swords.
I'm curious if we're going to see these two make the play for Skull Woods right away. They're down to 2 bosses they cannot kill at the moment, just Trinex and Argus. Although if you do run into a Cold Stare at the back of Skull Woods and you only have the Fire Rod, not the Bombos Medallion, keeping enough magic to actually make that happen can be a little bit of a pain.
Eriror's going to turn into the sick kid here.
Yep, and Fear is leaving Thieves Town. Has a slight little advantage in terms of the stuff over here because of not doing the fake flippers that really paid off for Eri.
Yep, and Fear making the play you were suggesting, going to Skull Woods. 2 items in here, and more than likely we can kill the boss.
Yep, and they could sequence break up to Death Mountain if they so chose, which would also be an interesting play. With the Mirror Hammer, they can do all of Light World Death Mountain, everything except for 3 chests and Hookshot Cave of Dark World Death Mountain. The front side of Skull Woods was pretty disappointing.
Yep, we're gonna go check out the back half. This is the one room in the game where having the Cane of Samaria, well, 2 rooms in the game, where Cane of Samaria actually helps a lot, just for speed purposes. It's not required, but it makes this room a lot easier and faster.
Very true. Also, I just had to jump to mind that the Magic Bad, who in Vanilla talks about how he's going to curse you, in this case, he cursed you with having to look at yourself, which is really kind of insulting.
And Eriror, oh, Fear just got grabbed by the Wallmaster there. Eriror's gonna go with the mirror now. He's gonna head to Pod, probably visit the hospital, turn that green pendant on the way, and then, yeah, it looks like that's exactly what he's doing.
Yep, should be able to knock both these dungeons out, pending the bosses that are present.
Yeah, he's low on health, but he does have a fairy in a bottle, so not too risky at the moment. Just bombs for returning the green pendant. Let's see what's here in the back of Sahashula's hut. A green potion, that's about it. Not the most, didn't miss out on much.
Then Fear making the play down to that chest under the bridge before going to Mothula is rewarded for his efforts with a compass.
So I believe we haven't seen any items yet, so that means the 2 items are going to be on the boss and in the big chest.
It seems correct to me. That extra little magic drop there is helpful, but he's about out of magic. If he runs into Cold Stare, he just can't do anything about it.
Yeah, he's going for a simple boss like Armos Knights. Even Vanilla Mothula wouldn't be too bad, though. It would be a little bit of a pain with Fighter Sword. Oh, never mind. We can't kill this at all. This is an Argus.
There was a 2 out of 10 chance, and they nailed it.
Yep, can't kill Argus without a hook shot, so we're coming back here later.
First chest of Eastern over on Aries' side is 3 bombs. I'm gonna laugh real hard if the hookshot is in the big chest of Skull Woods.
Oh god. I mean, it would be kind of like Vanilla. Well, you need the item in the big chest to reach the boss. Or in this case, kill the boss.
Early big key over here in Eastern, so that'll be a little bit more convenient routing if the couple next chests are both items.
Ooh, we have Ether in the big chest.
2/3 of the medallion game down. You got a 66% chance that you don't need to find bombos.
And we are heading over towards the piece of heart held by someone friendly. That's not a useful hint at all. Doesn't give us an item or really who it was. There's about 10 friendly. And a single arrow.
The single arrow is actually nice to find these days, just because it's counted as a unique item in the hints, so getting that out of the pool just means you can take those a little bit more seriously.
Yeah, I got baited by that in a race yesterday. It said a unique item was left side swamp and it was a single arrow.
Oh, that is the worst possible place to get that hint.
It was the worst. So, Eriror doing the dark room in Eastern. So this one chest will be, and probably the boss as well, will be out of logic without the lamp. But lamp is not a problem for these guys. And just a map here, so that means the final item will be on the boss. Depends on what boss it is.
Let's see, at this point, the things that you really want to see are either the hookshot to open up the remainder of Death Mountain that's not open, or the lamp or flute just to tell them, hey, it's time to go to Death Mountain.
Well, all of Death Mountain is open to them if they logic break up with the lamp, without the lamp. Because they have the mirror and the hammer, they can actually get to the east side through Hera.
Yeah, the only worrisome part about it is really if you're sequence breaking the flute instead of the lamp, but then you're just disappointed in the long run. Shout out to that Stalfos right there. He was a king.
Hey, it's blind. So this is the interesting thing in Randomizers. Whenever you fight a blind, it's not going to ever be the scripted pattern that you know from NMG. So Eri's going to have a little more trouble with this than he normally would. I don't think he'll have much of a trouble issue, but he might. He's down to one heart. He has a fairy though, so he doesn't have to worry too much.
And now he doesn't have a fairy anymore, but he's got 7 hearts to deal with, 3 more hits to blind, so that's not going to be an issue.
What's funny is that one of the things Eri was practicing leading up to this race was practicing the vanilla blind fight, which doesn't matter too much here in Randomizer. Oh, the butter sword. Okay.
Take all the
old casual 33-minute butter sword seed.
Not just 33-minute butter, but 33-minute butter and silver, so just nothing is going to pose a challenge at some point.
Unless more blinds. That's the only thing Eri doesn't want to run into anymore.
Especially the vaunted Misery Mire blind.
Or how about Ice Armos blind?
That one's also no fun. I miss Lambo 2 blind, where the door just automatically opened. It was like, okay, you win.
Alright, so now both our runners here in Palace of Darkness. Again, full clearable, 6 items to find, unless, of course, the boss is either Gold Stair or Trinix. And because we're dealing with Chaos Randomizer for the bosses, you could run into more than one of a certain boss throughout the game. And there's a hint that Fear will appreciate, finding that a sword is in the waterfall. That'll incentivize them to go up there more likely.
Yeah, it's definitely going to make sure that the sword game balances out, where it was potentially going to be a little bit unbalanced before.
Yeah, right now the difference is Butter Sword versus Fighter Sword. Though I think once Fear is done here, he's going to do Eastern. He'll get his Master Sword from Blind. And then he might do the Zora check, knowing he has a sword up there, and he'll wind up with Butter himself.
That bomb just tiny distance too far away from the wall to actually blow it up. I do like this route that Aries taken here, going to the right side first. It kind of can give you a little bit of information about whether the big key chest is more likely to be a key or a non-key. So it can kind of help save you a little bit of time in some cases.
Harken back to the old logic where that key couldn't be a small key until they fixed the key can be locked by other keys thing that you see nowadays.
Oh, the joys of pod over the various versions of Randomizer.
Oh yeah. I think there's no other dungeon has caused the devs more issues than Palace of Darkness.
I would definitely be surprised if there was one. There's the big key in a nice convenient spot, and Fear is going to go check the Harmless Hellway here. And you get some lunch. You're not going to complain about some lunch.
Now I'm in the mood for some Chipotle. So again, dealing with dark rooms here in the House of Darkness. At least they'll have Fire Rod for when they do the Turtle Room, and Eriror will use the Fire Rod here to make this a little easier as well. Find the bug net.
Bugnet's super good in Swordless. Not so useful anywhere else, really.
Yeah, that's something you definitely want in Swordless. If you ever tried to kill Aghanim with just a hammer, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the net is certainly useful when you're, getting used to Rando or getting used to Link to the Past in general for catching fairies. But at the level of these two, they're probably never going to actually pull it out of the inventory.
Hey, we see a shovel.
Gary appeared to get a little bit lost there at the start. He's kind of trying to find his way. Downside of Dark Maze is it's very easy if you know the pattern and you get through it right away. The moment you get off pattern, you just go, where am I? What do I do?
Yeah. This is the only dark room where I still use a map to help guide my way.
Okay, he found the door, so now he can back out, go back in, kind of reaccount for getting thrown off course by the Kadongos in there.
Alright, found his way to the first chest. Now he's on the right path.
Now, Fear does not have any magic right now, so he's gonna have to do the turtle room in the dark. There's no magic drops before that.
I think he has a green potion.
That could be possible. I know we've seen one, I just don't remember where it was.
It was back to Hashla, and he definitely visited there before coming here. So he definitely has a green potion.
Yep, and there he goes using it, so he's not gonna have to go through the worst dark room in the game. Get the lovely wall-moving cutscene, which is every bit as long as the Misery Mire wall-moving cutscene. But since you can see the wall move, it feels a lot less time.
Yeah, the Wizard Mire one feels like it takes forever.
So now they gotta go through this first room as well as the second one here without light, which is not that risky. The third room, the room with the bunch of turtles, is the one that's usually terrifying. But with Fire Rod, you can just move a little bit to the side, fire at a torch, and make your life a whole lot easier.
Yeah, this room is very, very tough without the Fire Rod. If you have no light, of course.
You got a nice little full magic pot dropped off one of those turtles, right after he had used his green potion.
fine. Hey, is this even randomized?
I thought we saw this guy already. Stupid Chaos Shuffle.
Well, this is one of the bosses where, you know, he's not hard to defeat. He's just a little bit of a time waste compared to some other bosses which go down a lot faster. But Fear takes him down no problem.
Yep, and Ares' fight is going to be just a little bit faster than his last one. Since now he has Butter, it'll be 2 slashes instead of 4.
Yeah, whereas Fear took out the silver arrows again, because again, he still has Fighter Sword. We now have 2 pendants, and we can get the 3rd pendant, so the chances of something relevant being on a pedestal is actually pretty high at this point.
Yeah, there are a few options that could be there. Flute, the hookshot, the flippers are kind of the main ones. The Ice Rod as well, because of course Ice Rod can be.
And you can also see Bombos or even Book be required and be on the pedestal.
So we'll see where these two end up going next once they're into their next move. Ares is going to be leaving the area a little bit sooner, going over to do whatever he does next because he didn't take the time to dip Skull Woods yet. So we'll see what is on his mind. The way he's walking out of here makes me think he's going to run up to Pyramid and Catfish. So despite all those items they got super early, there aren't a whole lot of things going on in terms of open areas right now. They've kind of bled everything in logic dry by now. Ten arrows on Pyramid Ledge doesn't help on that front. It's just kind of, hey, here's a little bit of a restock. But he had area at 24. No need for it. Here, entering into the Dark Room in Eastern Palace, one of the earliest ones most people learn. Just because it's really annoying to need to find the lamp to get this chest in Eastern sometimes.
Yeah, this is definitely the first Dark Room to learn, and probably the easiest to learn, save for maybe the Old Man in the mountain. And I'm looking at the thing, I'm pretty sure the only dungeon we can complete right now is the 3rd pendant dungeon, Tower of Hera.
Yeah, but that's not even in logic due to the lack of flute or lamp, so I guess lamp or flute is probably at Agina's cave. I think that's the only thing in logic that we haven't seen yet.
We haven't seen Purple Chest yet, so that could be a possibility. It looks like Ares is gonna, I think, A, check Aghanim's Lumberjack, and then B, go up to Death Mountain.
I did forget Purple Chest existed for a moment there.
Just 50 rupees, so we can put off Aghanim until the end of the game if we want to.
Get a nice little health and magic refill right before the Ganon fight. Here we go on the trip up Death Mountain. Make a nice smooth work of this cave. Holding out the sword gives you little sparkles. It slows you down ever so slightly, but makes it a lot easier to tell where you're going.
Well, the Old Man slows you down no matter what.
That's very true. Old Man with a piece of heart, and now a little bit of spin speed to get
piece of heart on Spectacle Rock. We will not be needing that. FEARAgent gets his Master Sword, so he knows Tempered will be waiting for him in Waterfall Cave. Little as you know, Butter will be waiting for him at Zora. Oh, there's your lamp, so that means Flute is probably out in the overworld somewhere. And we get the red mail will be in Swamp Palace Big Chest.
Yeah, lamp up here would mean that those two locations we mentioned earlier, the Agina's Cave and Purple Chest, are very likely to be the Flute location.
Yeah, so Eriror will take note of that. He definitely has that in his head now that with the lamp being there, Flute has to be one of those locations he put off in the overworld. It looks like FEARAgent's going to follow in Eriror's footsteps again. He's not going to go to get something sharp in the Waterfall Cave just yet.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Having to run down to do fake flippers is kind of annoying. And Tempered Sword saves you time, but if he's going to Death Mountain next, not a whole lot of time up there.
Right. We get our Tower of Power check now for Eriror. Finds the big key in the first location, which is always a good sight to see. Don't have to do the basement just yet. And get these 2 hints. Maybe you'll find out what's in the basement with this. The boots require a hammer. Well, thank you, game. We know that already.
That was a nice little boost there.
Yeah, that room is one of my favorite rooms in the game to get done fast because you can bounce off the 2 hard-out beetles, take them both out in one shot.
Now we got these 2 chests coming up. First is the small key, which opens up the basement. Oh, some bombs and Kakariko well. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, some of these hints are better than the others, I will say. Alright, no second item just yet, so 50-50 shot. It's either on whatever this boss is, or it's in the basement.
Come on, Helmasaur.
I mean, they can kill Helmasaur, just take a while. Oh, it's Colt's there. At least they have the fire to kill it.
Yep, and Air is sitting at full magic, so he can actually have enough magic to kill it. He has that green potion anyway, but you want to save it for a more convenient time.
Man, the other Colt's there with that middle hole is gonna be so funny to watch him dodge. This is great. At least he has Butter Sword. This is going to be a big deal for FEARAgent, though. Because he'll probably have to just... Oh, he's going to have the hammer or Master Sword to send me down. And there's your second item. Never... One of the rare times you're not sad to see a green rupee there.
On the bright side, that's both the green rupees have been found. They'll never find another one.
Yep, they found both green rupees and the single arrow, so all the troll single items are out of the way.
Yeah, as you were saying, Cold Slayer with Master Sword on that platform is not gonna be a fun experience.
It's one of those scenarios where it stinks, but you might, if FEARAgent might just put it off until he has to come here for against Tower, but because the pendant and pedestal might have something, he might need to take care of it now anyway.
Yeah, it's
right,
not the easiest choice to make.
Alright. Ether is needed for sort of rock. Eriror does not have ether yet. Where was that? FEARAgent got it already. I forgot where it was.
I want to say that was in Skullwoods.
Yeah, Skullwood's big chest, you're right.
Interestingly, he could get into there and do a good chunk of the dungeon, possibly even full cleared if he had that medallion, so that could come back to help out Fear a little bit if there's something important in there.
Yeah, you don't necessarily need the ice rod to complete Total Rock and Randomizer.
Got a nice little piece of heart off of Spiral Cave. Gonna go take care of Paradox Cave, and then wrap around and check Super Bunny and probably the first chest in Hookshot Cave.
And he could even, if he's feeling risky enough, try Spike Cave. He doesn't have any safeties for it, but if he has a bottle, I don't know if he has a bottle of potion either. So we'll see. I doubt he'll be able to go for it though.
Yeah, at the very least, it would be very tough and out of logic, so it's kind of probably not worth the time. $20, $20, $20. We're 3 for 3 so far.
4 for 4. Oh,
Stupid heart piece.
ruined. All right, hard reset.
I think someone just moved Vanilla Blind's hut into Paradox Cave.
That's true. Alright, FEARAgent's gonna do this cold stare fight. Let's see if he can get it done with what he has.
He kind of looked over his options, I think, trying to make sure that he didn't have Bombos. To be like, can I at least use Fire Rod for this?
You can't even do this the trick. He takes a death. The trick that you can do in Ice Palace, where you can stand on top and falling things don't hit you. So he's in his fairy here, the same fairy Eriror used at Blind.
It was at that blind fight in Eastern.
Yeah, and Fear already used his green potion, so he doesn't even have that. And he's down to 1 heart of health left.
Yeah, those falling ice chunks are doing a number. $20 in the bunk chest of Hookshot Cave, so that's not
Fear takes
value.
a death.
I am curious how he's going to handle that, if he's going to just leave and come back later like you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, he's gonna at least come back. Well, he knows there's a sword, and now he might go get that sword at the well.
Yeah, and even if he does want to do the Cold Stare fight again as is, he's going to probably just make a point to come to Super Bunny Cave, get that full magic over there. That Dead Rock, though.
Alright, we're going to see a very interesting play from Eriror, and I like this. He's going to do Skull Woods, and he's going to pull the pedestal while he's over here. So he'll get his Ether Medallion, and he'll also get the news that he cannot kill the Argus that's in the back of Skull Woods. But we will see our pedestal get pulled within the next 5 minutes, so get your get hype chat. I know you love this.
I'm going to pull for some pedestal flippers. I'm not going to say hookshot because that would just be way too convenient with that Argus.
No, it's V30. Hookshot's obviously in Swamp Palace.
That's true. It's going to be left side swamp where it always is. So Fear using the mirror a little bit different for his route through Death Mountain. He's going to avoid having to deal with the bomb jump this way, just going to be able to walk back out this door when he's done and head right into Super Bunny Cave. I totally forgot the 2 chests downstairs in Paradox Caves were also big 20s. So that was 6 out of 7 chests.
Right with Fire Rod dashing. Always swag.
Yep, and now we're going to get some incoming disappointment.
Yep. And here comes the bad news. You're gonna drop down, and you can't kill this guy.
Even landed directly on top of him, so he had to take damage when he saw him as well. Yeah, as Chad is mentioning, I am kind of expecting Fear to dive into T-Rock while he's here. It's 5 more items plus 1 in Mimic Cave. You can't really speed it up all that much in Go mode, And since there's no guarantee it's a try next, you can probably full clear it.
Alright, pedestal height, guys. Do we have something required on the pedestal? No, it's 5 rupees.
Listen, they might really need that $5.
I don't think so, stop it.
I'm sure there's some way he can spend all 730 he's got and still need that 5 more. So I'm thinking at this point, you got the Ether Medallion for the T-Rock play, and we know that the Fluke is in one of about 2 locations most likely. So probably either Misery Mire or T-Rock is where they need to go. Although I guess those locations that could have the flute could also have, say, the flippers with the flute in Ice Palace or Swamp Palace, or things along those fun lines.
Yeah, it could be a very large roundabout seed here.
I also forgot that there was K45 not checked yet.
That is true, you have had the mirror. So there are a few other spots in the overworld where try to get to find that flute. That flute's got to be one of those very few spots left.
Fear, no, there's a full magic in Super Bunny Cave. You just had to run to the side a little bit.
Oh, he left up there. So let's see where his next place is going to be. It might be, let's see.
It's looking like he's gonna go get that sword.
Yeah.
Like, nope, I just saw that cold stare in Tower of Hera. Never again. I'm gonna go get this. Going to set up a Boots water walk for it as well. Get close to the hole, dash out the cave, and then next time you jump south into the water, you'll be walking on water because reasons.
Yeah, that's about the only way I can describe it. I see people do it all the time. I still don't know how to do it. But yeah, sure. It works.
I 100% know how to do it, I just don't know why it's a thing. Like, I get fake flippers, I get a lot of the glitches in this game. The Boots water walk, I don't even begin to comprehend why it works. So, Eri looks like he's headed back over to the village, gonna probably grab Purple Chest, go on the hunt for that progression that he knows is somewhere over in these last few overworld spots.
And Fear goes out with a butter sword.
It's one of those moments where you're like, why didn't I fake flipper at the start of the scene? He was thinking the hair play, changed his mind, going to the house, and we'll see where he heads from here.
Alright, so we're going to get all 3 locations that I think the flute kind of has to be in coming up right now for Eri. And there it is. First one. Get the flute for K45. Oh, there's also the shovel spot, which, well, it couldn't be there because it was in the dark room, so never mind.
Yep, but it could have something. No. No.
The riders can do the same thing, it looks like.
Now, if Fear goes to do cave... Well, no, he's going to do Agina's cave. I was going to say, if he goes to do cave 45 from the south, he'd be in a very convenient spot to just walk right back up to Kakariko and activate the flute.
Fear is going to check Nina's cave. This is one of the places he thinks the flute could be.
What do you think? Hookshot here?
Big 20.
taking the safe bet, I see. Smart man.
I play the odds. Ah, wrong odds. Another common item.
I'm actually not sure what's more common now that the upgrades are out of the pool and it's just straight bomb drops.
I think the big 20 is still more common, and then the heart piece is still second, but the arrows and the bombs are right there now.
That seems accurate. Fear heading to the east here, gonna go turn... I don't know where he's headed to. Oh, he's gonna go buy a potion.
And probably go back up to Colts there.
Yep, and then use that to head over to T-Rock and be able to open it this time.
Yeah, you got a lot of bottles there, Fear. You can fill them all up.
Even offering the witches a present of his dear friend, the bee.
And we're going to get our Meyer check, which is pretty much what we expected here. So if we find a hook shot... Oh, we still need flippers also. I mean, hook shot and flippers, and maybe... Might not need ice rod, but maybe ice rod.
Is the worst in Randomizer seeds when you get everything except for ice rod with a bunch of dungeons left.
Oh! There are the flippers. Right on the desert ledge.
Okay, well that opens up the hookshot in Swamp Palace stream.
And we can knock out 2 dungeons here. We can do desert and we can do Meyer.
Well, we haven't seen the medallion for Meyer yet. It could still be Bombos.
That is true. The Book of Medora's in Mimic Cave. Ooh, that's a long ways away.
Although they can practically access it now, but...
They can. They could lead to
You really
hookshot
wanna
on
make
one of
the
the
trip.
tablets.
Yeah, go all the way up to Mimic Cave, just in case Hookshot is on a tablet, is kind of a, that's a gamble. Item number 1 from Desert, 10 arrows.
Another big key, which it had to be at this point. And he's gonna go kill the boss first. See what's going on in there, and if he drops an item, he doesn't have to come back for the big chest. If he doesn't drop an item, well, we'll go back for the big chest. Or do Meyer shit first. Okay, sure. There's your hook shot.
Yep. So... possible go mode once he checks this medallion over here.
Which he's still not doing. And he does mirror bonds. FEARAgent's back on the Cold Stare fight. Now with Butter Sword, more likely you can take it out. No problem. Also, you just load up on potions. Just don't fall down that center hole, you're fine.
Got Cold Stare nicely in the corner there, and took him out very quickly. At this point, we got 2 questions remaining. 1, what is this medallion that Eriror refuses to show us? And 2, is there going to be a single Trinex in this seed? We've got 5 bosses that we haven't seen yet, so... Or no, 4 bosses. No, 5. 5 bosses we haven't seen yet that could be Trinex.
See what's waiting here in Desert. As Fear looks like he's going to go to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, not a bad play. We know that it might not be the most worthwhile play, but he's going to have to clear this eventually anyway, and he's already up here.
Yep. And it's our old buddy Mothula here in the Desert. So, fun thing about Mothula and Randomizer, as long as it's not in his own room, it's pretty free.
Yep, and because the devs of Rando fixed the Butter Sword against Mothula, you can actually just attack him instead of having to poke him the whole time.
You get a second hint that a unique item requires a hammer. That could be a boots hint as well, but we already saw the boots hint, so maybe not. Maybe not. And Quake from Meyer, so Eriror is in dodge, try, next go mode.
The cross your fingers and dream mode.
Yeah, gotta love Randomizer.
It's one of the lovely things about this mode is sometimes it makes seeds a little bit quicker because you don't have to go on the never-ending ice rod hunt. And sometimes it makes seeds a lot slower because you've go-moded like 4 dungeons and suddenly, oh, there's a Trinex and I don't have ice rod.
Yeah, so will Eriror continue to pull these items looking for this ice rod?
I want to give some props to Fear here for remembering he doesn't have hookshot and actually taking the right path around that room.
Yeah, you see a lot of people, if they don't have hookshot coming in here, they'll just instinctively go one direction and be like, oh, wait. And there's half magic here in Turtle Rock.
That's a nice perk for heading into that chest. So ideally for Eri, honestly, is GT Big Key in the last chest he checks. So you can get all the Ice Rod checks in without really wasting any time if it's not there or not needed.
Yeah, well, obviously you gotta check all these chests anyway, looking for the big key here from Meyer.
Yeah, it's really the one situation where if you get like that God GT, the chain chomp.
Yeah, Fear's still on green mail. I forgot where the blue mail was. It was pretty early though, if I remember correctly.
Blue mail was on Hobo. That was the one check that he didn't do when he went and got those swords.
Right. And yep, there's your play for Eriror. He is getting the big key and he is going straight to the boss.
Yeah, and that's the disadvantage of the early big key is, let's say Ice Rod is in the cutscene chest or the one over by the big chest. Well, he's not going to find it because the big key was early and it could come back to bite him. Just a small little tip for those out there watching, if you notice FEARAgent got hit by that anti-fairy when a lot of people managed to walk right by it, that was due to stair lag. Because he walked down directly out the door, he was a little bit delayed getting out the door compared to if he had walked right first, and that gave just enough time for that anti-fairy to get there and hit him. We got vanilla big key chest of T-Rock coming up. And it is the vanilla big key, which it had to be at this point.
Yeah, it had to be in there, otherwise we'd be locked out.
I realized that about halfway through, and I'm like, well, I gotta stick to it now.
Alright, which boss will we find here in Misery Mire? As long as it's not a Trinex, we can take care of it. It's a gold, that's an Argus. So 2 Arguses already.
Yep, 2 Arguses, 2 Helmasaurs. No sign of Trinex, which is ideal.
And our rider with the quick kill through phase 1.
That is a lot harder to pull off than people make it look.
Yeah, I do a fast kill, not a quick kill when I face an Argus. And there's your 4th bottle.
So that means we're leaving behind 1 item in Misery Mire.
Fear gets his book from Mimic Cave, which we got the hint for earlier.
So I gotta assume Eri is just gonna start blowing through these dungeons. He's probably gonna do Swamp and Ice next, clear out Skull Woods eventually, and then head on.
Still gotta check the big chest here in the desert. Still has an item. So he's checking this, which is interesting. I don't know if he... I guess he found 2 items in Mire. He still wants the security blanket of finding an ice rock.
Thought he only found 1 item in Mire.
He found a bottle. I don't know if he found anything else. You might be right. He might not have found anything else.
So I definitely support the pseudo-go mode Mire and just hope that it's not the answer.
Yeah, I guess checking quick locations like this, like he'll skip left side swamp, but he'll check everything else in the swamp probably when he goes there. Same with ice, he'll go mode ice, but he'll check the 2 chests that are pretty convenient.
Just a heart container in Checkerboard Cave and Fear coming up on Laser Bridge. Nothing of note besides that book we knew was coming in TR so far.
Yeah, and unless it's exactly Ice Rod and there's exactly a Trinex somewhere, I don't think TR is going to be paying off for anything.
And if Ice Rod is on like Bombo's tablet and actually required, that could actually give Fear a pretty big leg up. First chest of Laser Bridge is a map. Second chest, $300.
And he is getting owned by the lasers.
It appears that he said, you know what, screw laser skip, I'm just gonna walk through these things. I'll just tank it.
Yeah, just tanking things. Alright, Eriror heading up back to Skullwood's gonna take on this Argus.
So, of course, Laser Bridge requires an invincibility item to get through logically, but because only the tip of the lasers does damage, you can kind of sneak through them. Sometimes it can be a pain if you're not feeling the laser skip on a given day. It's not the easiest thing to just do.
Well, here's the thing. He doesn't notice yet because he didn't find the flippers yet. But because we know where the flippers are, we know where the last shield is, the mirror shield might have been required for all of this.
That is very true. That would just be rude of the seed to actually require mirror shield.
Yeah, we know the last shield is on Lake Hylia Island. Anyway, after a few deaths, but he gets all 4 items, nothing of value other than that small key that we needed, and off to kill what usually is Trinex. We'll find out what it actually is. And if it's actually Trinex, then well, this would be bad for everybody.
It'll be a sad, sad day. I really love that Argus is just right there, exactly where you land. So it's just like, hey, buddy, have some damage.
Yeah. Kind of rude, if you ask me. Alright, we find Armor Knights.
And this will be very super easy with the silver arrows. Just like that second phase of Argus that Eri decided to do the easy way this time.
Alright, double crystal cutscenes on our screen. One for Total Rock, one for Skullwoods. And I would imagine Arai's next play will probably be either Swamp or Ice.
Yep, meanwhile, Fear just needs to make his way to Cave 45. That is everything that he needs, with the exception of maybe Ice Rod, will be there. But he's gonna go check Ether Tablet.
And Eriror is going to go to Ice, it looks like.
Yeah, Ice and Swamp are about equal in terms of items. It's just, I personally would choose Swamp first, because if the boss is Trinex, it's quicker to get back to.
Ether Tablet having just a piece of heart. Will we see Spike Cave from FEARAgent?
It's looking like we will. He'll have to use one of those blue potions he's got to make it through there all the way. I want to say it's 14 hearts you need to just tank it.
Just with 10 arrows. So Eriror is checking the one-of chests that are on the way here. So he checked the Penguin Room chest. He's probably also going to check the double Freezer Room chest. But other than that, he's probably not going to do anything else here in Ice.
Yeah, it depends on key placement too. If he gets a key in Freezor chest, he might go back.
Ooh,
oh.
Did you see the hint?
Oh!
Ice Rod's and Misery Mire. Oh god, that is...
About that one item he skipped could really bite him? Well, it could if it didn't get a hint right there that told him where it was. Now. Although, if Trinex is sitting at the bottom of Ice Palace here, that's really gonna hurt having not picked up that item while he was there. Bright side is he does not have to check any more chests in Ice Palace, because he knows exactly where the only other item he might need is.
Yep, FEARAgent's going to pull his 5 rupees of destiny here.
So here's the question. If Ice Palace is not Trinex, do you go immediately right back to Misery Mire and go grab that Ice Rod? Or do you take the gamble?
I think I go... Oh god, it's so tough. I'd probably grab the Ice Rod. I don't want to risk it.
I definitely would before going to T-Rock.
Yeah.
It's just the question of, do you do it before Swamp?
Probably, because if you're on trying to swamp, you have to leave and come back. You have to drain the water all over again. Kind of a nuisance.
Yeah,
hey, wait a minute!
Too. This is the second vanilla boss. I'm finding the problem here. So we've got 2 Helmosaurs, 2 Arguses, 2 Cold Stairs, 2 Trinexes?
We already saw 1 Mothula. We haven't seen any Trinex, we haven't seen any Landmola. We've seen 1 Aros Knights. We've seen no Moldorms.
He needs more 10-eyed Moldorms.
Fear about to finally get his flute. Alright, Eriror, you gonna fly back to Mire, or are you gonna go do Swamp? He's going to Mire. He's not risking it at all.
Yep, don't blame him. I gotta assume he feels pretty comfortable where he's at in the seed. So I can't blame him for wanting to just play it safe over taking the risk.
Now, for his sake, he hopes that it's in the big chest or the small chest on the right side.
Yeah, although the small chest on the right side is kind of a pain, so you would have to run over, flip the crystal switch, run all the way back.
And that's how you do Mire 2, boys and girls. Alright, is it here in the big chest? Let's find out. No, comes.
So I'm trying to remember which chest he did check. I know he didn't check the cutscene chest. It could be there. Could be this chest right up here, and I don't think he checked the lobby one.
Yeah, he checked. The only one he checked on the left side was the fire rod blocked one downstairs. So he's gonna flick the switch. Probably check the one here. Probably check the vanilla small key chest, the chest on the right side, and then the last chest he'll do is the cutscene chest. There it is. There's the ice rod, and now it's official at 1 hour 19 minutes. Even if he didn't need it, he's now in go mode.
Yep, he's moved from decent percentage go mode to 100%. And we're gonna see these last couple dungeons of his be blown right through at this point.
Yeah, he's just got to do Swamp and Turtle Rock, both pretty easily, especially Turtle Rock being Armos Knight's boss.
He gets to pure Go mode Swamp Palace, which is always just so great.
It really is a good feeling. And both ice and swamp being able to do straight go mode. Such a good feeling.
And Fear is heading to the Mire area, so he's going to get his hookshot, probably going to clear out Mire and Desert. If he doesn't take the same risk Eri did, he'll get his Ice Rod and be in Go mode as well. But he is quite behind in terms of dungeons, just from some unfortunate consequences of the routing he went through. The lack of the couple swords causing him to die to that cold stare, having to climb the mountain again for that, as well as T-Rock, and then kind of missing that flute about as long as possible. So now the best result is if there is no Trinex in the seed. He ran all the way back through Misery Mire to get an Ice Rod that he doesn't need. Going to grab this small key and then skip right to the end. Swamp Palace is nice enough to be locked by the item in the big chest instead of a big door. So once you have the hookshot, there's just no reason to find the big key. It's meaningless.
Yeah. And NMG, you have to go all the way to the left side, get the big key, let's get the hookshot out of there. Yeah, fun times. That's why I like Randomizer. There's some things that you have to do in NMG that are just a total ugh.
I'll give you that, but I mean, Randomizer has done some pretty mean things to me before.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
I want to say it was the Entrance Shuffle tournament last summer when they had to do first Fighter Sword Vitreous with low health and green mail for Moon Pearl to get Dark World access.
Well, that sounds like fun.
Over here, we're almost done with Swamp, which is very quick when you don't need anything.
Hey, we found ourselves a 3-eyed Moldorm. I guess we call that Moldorm Blinky.
3 eyes isn't enough eyes. We need at least 6 eyes. That is crystal number 6 for Eri. Fear is about to get his, let's see, 3rd crystal. He will have Swamp Palace, Skull Woods, Mire, and Ice to do after this. And given the key layout of T-Rock, knowing that it's a vanilla big key, Eriror is not going to be able to save any time by Go moding it. It's going to be effectively the same thing in Go mode as it would have been in non-Go mode. Just gets to dip out of Laser Bridge once he finds that small key.
Yeah, small key is the first chest in Laser Bridge, so he'll be able to take that no problem. Fear gets his flippers.
That bonk off that dead rock was fantastic.
So now Fear is now also in Ice Rod Let's Go mode.
If and he'll likely be doing Mire next. We'll see if he grabs the Ice Rod while he's there or not. If there's a Trinex in GT though, Eri is going to owe a lot to that Ice Palace hint.
Oh yeah, for sure. So if you're just watching, just to confirm what you may or may not be thinking, Aghanim 1 and Aghanim 2 bosses can never be shuffled. They are always Aghanims.
As along with Ganon. But there is, thought that they would like to change that at some point, if they find a way to.
Yo, Ganon on Ice Armor, so let's go.
What is this, Festive Rando from Christmas last year?
I'll see you in a month and a half.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually miss that mode, and I kind of hope it comes back for this Christmas season. It was both awful and wonderful altogether.
Well, it is the most wonderful time of the year, after all.
That's a fair point.
Now the question is, are you team Christmas starts in the beginning of November, or are you team Christmas starts at Thanksgiving?
I'm team Christmas starts like a week and a half before Christmas and scrambling to go buy stuff.
You monster. You don't appreciate the true meaning of Christmas. I'm watching Home Alone right now as we speak. Alright, no I'm not.
I was gonna say, that's pretty impressive. You're following this race and watching Home Alone all together. So Fear is getting his bridge chest here, and then he'll go to the left side, and it just becomes, is he going to get that chest with the ice rod before he moves forward?
Now, I have one more question for you until I get off the Christmas stick. Die Hard. Christmas movie or not?
About as Christmas movie as anything else, I'd say.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
I feel like a lot of the Christmas movies are just kind of Christmas tacked on, outside of ones that are, like, specifically Christmas, like, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, yada yada.
So you're lumping Die Hard in the same boat as Home Alone, then?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh. So it is a Christmas movie, got it.
And Fear did skip the ice rod, so hopefully there's no Trinexes, or he also sees that hint.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting if Fear does come back to Meyer after finding the hint in ice. Thing is, he's already cleared out Turtle Rock, so he knows Turtle Rock's not going to be Trinex. He knows he hasn't done he hasn't finished Skull yet, which we know is an Argus. So he only has like 2 or 3 bosses left that can run him up.
Yeah, and then he's got the GT stuff to worry about, which always kind of weighs on your mind. I'm curious of knowing his opponent is the execution level that Ares at. You died on that cold stare, your routing kind of didn't work out. You might just take that gamble on Ice Rod even if you know where it's at, just to try to make up ground you feel you lost an execution earlier.
Or you can go the other way. If you find the Ice Rod hint, and you can hope that your opponent did not, and if Ice Rod is, say, on Land Mole 2, or Trinex on Land Mole 2.
True. And
Trinex, anyway, that's all hypothetical stuff, and one of the reasons I'm not a huge fan of Randomizer.
See, I enjoy it for just kind of messing around, but at the same time, some of the stuff that it gets into becomes just kind of pure luck. That said, give me some Randomizer cross-roll Keysanity, and I'll be happy.
You truly are a masochist. Alright, once the Rider finishes off this Armos Knights, well, you do know we do have a little game like to play here on Speed Gaming when it comes to the Gans Tower Big Key. So why don't we fire that thing off?
Yeah, we're going to be having 22 chests in the basement of GT, one of which is going to hold the big key. And that's all we're going to be looking for down there.
So you guys, the chat, if you have subscribed to a Speed Gaming channel or have donated up to 250 biddies to any of the Speed Gaming channels, you are qualified for our leaderboard. You do not have to do this to play the game, though. But if you want to be part of the leaderboard, that's part of the appeal. You enter a number between 1 and 22. Think of where you think the big key will be, and if you're correct or closest, and again, one of the supporters of Speed Gaming, you win. You just win. There's no prize or anything. You just win.
You win the prize of pride.
And there's a small key in chest 1 and a heart piece in chest 2, and Eriror is going to go right side with that small key.
Yeah, pretty much the standard play to make these days.
Hey, and shout out to the people that are subscribing with Twitch Prime as trying to get in on the big guessing game. We appreciate it.
I don't know, this seat has been very friendly. I can't help but guess that it's going to be tile room. There's got to be something bad about this seed, right?
Well, in all dungeons seed, that's going to be possibly sub 140. Yeah, that's definitely something that can kick it up. Never mind, it's chest number 6.
Yeah, that's nice and early. Sub 140 might be a stretch, because he does still have to mirror over and do Aghanim's Tower after he's done with GT here. That's true, even with this equipment, probably about 4 minutes worth of time.
And the first supporter to guess correctly was Fluffy Mittens, so GG's to Fluffy Mittens on getting it correctly.
Now, at this point, Eriror is, in his wheelhouse. It's actually easier than the NMG gauntlet that he is used to doing in NMG, with a better sword and silver arrows to work with, so this should be nice and quick and easy.
Yeah, and he has blue mail as opposed to green mail. So this is like free for him.
Suddenly, when he hits the boss on Lambo 2 and gets wrecked, and it's like, oh, our bad.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is all so easy, and then all of a sudden you find the Lambo 2 boss is like a Vitreous, and you're like, oh, right.
I learned the other day that Vitreous' lightning works like Ganon's fire bats. It knocks you back in the opposite of the direction you're holding. That was a fun thing to learn by falling into the middle hole on the Moldorm platform.
So Fear is checking these one-of locations on the way, again, just in case he happens to run to Ice Rod. He hasn't gone to Ice Palace yet, so he doesn't have the hint yet. And we have another Helmus Arcane, our third one.
So if there was a Trinix in this seed, it was tucked away on Ice Armos where none shall ever see it.
It could still be on Moldor too, can it?
Trinix is one of the bosses that does not agree with large rooms, so he can't show up on the Moldorm 2 room.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I was joking about getting bodied by the boss at Lambo 2 area. You don't have to die here.
So Helmusaur 4 incoming for Eriror and Moldorm in Moldorm 2?
I'd support it. Fear is surely heading over to Ice Palace next. No reason not to get it out of the way. We'll see if he checks the hint tiles. We know he doesn't need the Ice Rod. He is in go mode even if he doesn't know it.
Eri, please.
You can get in the double fairy in like 2 rooms, so he's pretty safe by now, but he's made this a lot closer than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah. Let's kill one of these things for a small key. Look, that boomerang coming in handy. You were wrong.
All this time. An hour later, and it's finally used. To be fair, I'm guessing it's going to get used in Aga Tower briefly, too.
Yeah, probably. And it's our second or third? I think second, Mothula.
Those sword beams kind of trolling them there, causing them to do fighter sword damage to Mothula over and over.
Yep. Again, Mothula outside of Mothula's room is a lot easier than literally anywhere else in the game.
That's why if you ever play a Link to the Past ROM hack and there's Mothula in it, it's probably going to be easier than vanilla Mothula fight, just because no glitchy damage stuff.
Here comes the Aga 2 fight. Before the Aga 1 fight, go figure that one out. Gets a solid 2 on the first phase. And Fear's getting his Ice Rod in.
Just actually kind of unfortunate for him. It's actually potentially going to slow down his finish time by getting that hint.
Eri with a 2-1-0-2 so far. And finish it off.
Yeah, but now you might be thinking it's time to go kill Ganon, but no. We gotta go through a nice little 4-minute walk through Aghanim's tower. Just kind of relaxing for a bit. You're continuing through ice. He knows at this point that he is effectively in go mode. Forgot to hit the switch there, though.
Eri, you dingus! You forgot to kill Aghanim.
At least he realized
he did it. He forgot to kill Aghanim. I like that he called you a dingus. That's funny.
It is, and then if you go all the way to phase 4 instead of getting the Silver's hint, just... Do you have wax in your ears? I have definitely seen people do that same thing, but then just take it all the way to phase 4 and be like, why won't you die, Ganon? So, props to him for actually reading Ganon's text and realizing what was going on.
Yeah.
It's actually the one thing I dislike about all dungeons as a mode, is how often you just have to go do Aga Tower for nothing.
So in case you missed it, when you try to kill Ganon without completing the all-dungeon goal, he'll say, "You think you're ready to defeat me, I will not die until you complete your goals, dingus." The dingus part is what is the best, obviously.
Yep, and there are similar things for pretty much all the different modes that don't just straight up require defeating Ganon. It'll do the same for Triforce Hunt, for Entrance Rando if you drop in too early.
Yeah.
Fear taking down Cold Stare, grabbing this heart piece. He knows Skull Woods is an Argus. It's his only boss outside of GT left. I don't know if he takes the time to go grab that Ice Rod.
I doubt it. Because worst case scenario is Trinex is on Lamola 2. It's literally the only thing. Let's see if it's 3 or 6. Lucid 3, so not going to deal with the Ice Rod.
There's that boomerang coming in handy one more time. A little bit of muscle memory picking up 5 arrows that really weren't needed with just needing 4 more to finish the seed.
So one of the things I think that might have contributed to Eri forgetting about Aghanim at the point The fact that 3 of the first 4 dungeons he completed were pendant dungeons, and he pulled the pedestal, so that you might have just forgot that it was all dungeons for a while.
That's very true.
More like it's muscle memory, but you never know.
And now Aghanim sends Zelda into the crystal that Link's already obtained at Open GT. Timeline gets weird with all dungeons sometimes.
Randomizer in general gets all weird. You might defeat Dungeon 7 before killing Aghanim. Up, get your blue ball counts in the chat. We already got 1.
And the 15 dream is dead, so if you guess 15, that's already over and done with.
Hey, chat's right though. He could miss.
He could.
I don't see it happening, but he could.
I've seen crazier things happen, at least.
Well, we're already at 3, so already pretty below average. At least on pace for it.
I believe 3 is like the expected quantity. Anything more is kind of unlucky, anything less is pretty lucky.
Yeah, sounds alright.
This will be the last hit here.
So it was a 3 blue ball, Aghanim 1.
Yep, and now Air's gonna get a nice little health refill, and he's gonna go back and talk to Ganon again. He's probably gonna be a little bit more concerned this time.
Yeah.
Again, gonna destroy life, dreams, and hope, or so he thinks, but with Butter Sword, this is gonna be a very, very quick fight.
Yeah, he's even doing Tempered Sword strats even though he has a Butter Sword. Spins deal the same amount of damage as slashes when you have Butter Sword.
Except on high Noxes, for some reason.
Yeah, that's, weird.
He is sitting at 1 heart, which is a little bit concerning, but phase 3 and 4 are usually not ones you expect to get hit on.
Also, I was wondering what that quote was for. Thanks to chat, I now know it was FF6. And yes, we did find the arrows in the Dark World. Thanks for asking.
I also now understand why I've never understood that quote before.
Yep, I gotta go play that game. That's gonna be just fun. Anyway, easy fight for Eriror, even on 1 heart. Didn't take him long at all. So, Eriror gonna move up to 5-0 in Group O as he wins this race. You have the official time?
Yeah, his official time on SRL is 1:43:20, which is just stupid good for an all-dungeon seed.
All dungeons with boss shuffle, that is pretty insane, especially because he had to leave at least 1 boss.
Yep, and he wasted a little bit of time by pseudo-go moding Meyer and then going back for the Ice Rod that could have been saved if he had checked that 1 chest ahead of time. So, honestly, he could have even gotten the seed a little bit faster with the way he played.
And joining us now is Eriror GG's.
Yo, thanks. That was a pretty good seed.
Yeah, sub 145 on a seed like this is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I almost forgot that it was all dungeons.
We noticed. We got a little bit of a laugh at that.
I figured yet.
You had me concerned going up the gauntlet there, because I had joked around like, oh, maybe Lambo 2 is going to throw Ari off and, he's going to have some trouble. And then you actually almost died to Helmasaur in Lambo 2 room. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, so it wasn't Helma, it was the fire shooter. That's the true final boss. Once I got past that, I knew that everything up until the anti-fairies before, like, Morphula would be like virtually impossible to die on. So as long as I got past Helma, I would be okay. But yeah, I can imagine that was kind of scary.
So it was one of the main reasons why you were able to take a big lead in this game, and pretty much the only difference between the two of you. The fact that you went to Zora before going up Death Mountain you were able to have Butter Sword. Whereas FEARAgent, he had Fighter Sword, and he died to the Cold Stare that was waiting in Hera.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was really happy once I found already with the Master Sword, but then when Zora also had the tempo, I was like, okay, this routing is working out so far. Like, I think everything up until I went up to DM and found literally nothing aside from the lab, I felt really good.
Yeah, you were able to narrow down where the flute had to be. Down to pretty much 3 locations, and you found it right away as soon as you started looking for it. And then, of course, led to literally the last 2 items you needed. And of course, finding the hint for Ice Rod and Mire after you just left Mire was pretty funny.
Yeah, I really wasn't sure whether how much I should go mode in this case, because Trinox could be at the last couple of spots, and if that happens and I don't know where the Ice Rod is, it's gonna be pretty bad time. So I figured the one item in Mire would be a relatively safe play, because what if it's in the left side of Mire, and it's gonna be such a long wait, and then it ends up being a big 20. But no, of course it's the Ice Rod right there.
Yep, then nothing to do with cutscene chest, which was pretty much the only one that would have really thrown you off a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, once the hint said it was in Mire, I knew it couldn't be on the Firelock side, so that did help.
And we see FEARAgent, he's actually going left side GT, so he's going to be losing even more time here.
Oh no. But yeah, considering I cleared a whole lot before finding the flute and getting to Mire and having to go back for the Ice Rod, I was kind of worried. But overall, you never know, that's the problem. Like, there's so many uncertainties, you don't know if you need the Ice Rod for an eventual Trinix, you don't know what your opponent did, and if he didn't go to Death Mountain and like spend 10 minutes up there finding just big 20s, that was kind of the problem this season.
Yeah, how do you like that Paradox Cave with 6 of 7 chests just being 20 rupees?
I was almost disappointed that the last one was a piece of heart. I'll be honest. I was actually just shaking my head once I opened chest after chest and just found big red rupees. But it was a fun time.
So you put the 5 rupees back in the pedestal, it looked like?
Yeah. I mean, the chance that there was something on there wasn't that big, but I mean, the pendant dungeons were super accessible, so I didn't feel like there was a reason not to do it.
3 pendants, other than the fact that you needed to get the flute to actually beat Hera, yeah. It could have been one of a few items.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, and I don't know if you just noticed that, found both the Cape and the Cane of Burna here in GT, so that means that mirror shield that was on Lake Hylia Island was in fact required for Laser Bridge.
Alright.
As Moldorm 2 goes down in Ice Armors, again with 3 eyes. And we're not going to find the big key here, obviously, because we know where it is. There's the Bombos Medallion, so... Fear now, I'm going to head right side and find this big key, probably in chest 21, looks like.
Until the Tower Room gamble. Yeah, I think, all things considered, with that seed where everything was at, you could have pretty much gotten to go mode before dipping more than, like... Before even dipping a dungeon, I think. If you routed it, you know, with the God route.
Yeah. I think everything was outside of a dungeon.
I don't think there's anything inside a dungeon. Like, I don't think there's anything in Thieves Town. Eastern didn't have anything. Pod didn't have anything.
It was like the opposite of a V26 seed.
Yeah, exactly. But I never felt really bad just clearing dungeons. I was just always afraid there was a Trinix near the end.
Oh, there was something required in a dungeon. Ether was in Skullwoods.
Oh, right.
But that might have been it.
which is just absolutely silly, to be honest.
Yeah, but because you get so many items, you really get incentivized to clear dungeons. So, yeah, you get just baited into dipping everything.
Anything in particular that stood out about the seed other than that, comes to mind?
No, I mean, again, it was just a super generous seed for me with the early swords and getting boots early. Just everything worked out, and well, yeah, 133 kind of shows that. I don't have anything to complain about. I'm happy with my execution in the seed as well during most points. So, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely threw a few shout-outs for some of the stuff you pulled off, like the absurd amount of chest turns you were doing.
Oh right, yeah, I was I was having some fun with that. That's true.
Like, he's saving maybe like a couple frames with every one of these, but he's doing it so much, it's probably actually adding up.
Yeah, I'm not sure if some of them actually did end up saving stuff, but sometimes you just gotta swag off a little.
I know that feeling.
So, Eri, you're now 5-0 in your group. You already know what my prediction for you personally was in this group, but I'm going to be impartial here. How are your feelings going forward?
Yeah, I still need to go up against Oz and Haas, so I haven't played anything against them yet. So I'm slightly worried from what I've heard. They're pretty strong. I might have to analyze some VODs to see like what their tendencies are and what their strong suits are.
Yep.
But I think if I play like I did today, I should be able to at least 2-1 both of them. And maybe even 3-0. So I think there's still a chance of going 15-0, but it's still rando.
It is still rando, yes.
I would be more confident if we were just having an NMG tournament right here.
Well, obviously you're probably you're barely ahead of Andy on the leaderboard, right? You two are pretty much close among the randomizer players on the NMG leaderboard.
Yeah,
Yes.
But I do think it's us two and Zero Rush that are amongst the top at this point. And I might be forgetting someone actually. But yeah, like Andy and Zero Rush are definitely the two people I'm most scared of at this point.
Oh,
and
ACM also goes
then,
up there.
oh,
I don't
yeah,
know if he's in
ACM.
this tournament, is he?
Yeah.
He is, okay. I know TGH is not, so
Yeah, he would be
he'd be the top of
The best-
random
yeah, the top
player
one,
on the
yeah.
NMG list, yeah.
Yeah, he's still busy climbing mountains.
Yeah, he's all in on Celeste at the moment.
But yeah, there are some others that definitely might not have like the time on NMG, but have like the sheer rando experience and knowledge that also makes it super scary. Like
Yeah.
like
Look at them,
Flame
like-
comes to mind, Bwayne,
Kyong
Kyong.
92, yeah.
So like there no one here in the top 96 is a slouch. Like I think
also got
that has been said before, but it still holds true. So
You also
you
got
can't
your
underestimate anyone.
German comrade, the Lane, also on there.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta keep him happy by complimenting him while he's not sitting here.
Hey, he was in here complimenting you, so there you go. It's like, you two are always fun to watch.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Just like to say, you say no one in the top 96 is a slouch, but you do realize I'm in the top 96, right?
Hey, you
Yeah.
won 2 qualifier races, Mentos.
And since then, I've gone 2-7. Oh yeah. So Fear is just about through GT. Just gotta do Aga 2, and then he gets to do the lovely 4 minutes of boredom walking up Aghanim's tower.
Hey, Aga Tower is a super fun dungeon. I think people shouldn't, underestimate the enjoyability of it. There are some really cool room strats in there. It's just that you don't really get to do it that often, so it just feels like, oh, I have to do this, but I don't usually have to do this, so I'm not sure how to properly do it. And then it becomes less fun.
See, my thing is mostly like if I have to do Aghanim early in the seed for Dark World access or something, it's a little bit different than going there at the end of the run with Butter Sword and Silver Arrows and tons of health and there's just no risk. Then it's just kind of like, okay, I just get a muscle memory through this dungeon for a few minutes before I gotta kill Ganon.
Yeah, that's fair, but then again, like GT holds the same, but I guess it's a bit more dangerous than Agate Tower would be. It's a mini Ganon's Tower.
Let's see if Fear remembers this first off, like because you didn't.
Yeah. It was just such a fast scene.
Ah, he remembered. He saved 10 seconds on you.
There was a bit more than 10 seconds, trust me. I think I lost around a minute.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, having Butter Sword for this is a lot better than, say, Master Sword, which you would do in NMG. And 15 hearts compared to less. Fear's still on green mail. He had never found that blue mail.
I think it was on Hobo.
It was, he skipped that. When he did the when he fake flipper to get his sword, he didn't bother with Hobo.
Okay, right.
He got the hit for sword, and when he went down there, he just did Hobo. He just did the waterfall sword checks.
Yeah, he did that Boots water walk, so instead of setting up the fake flippers, making sure to get it the first time, he just ran straight up to the waterfall.
Yeah, considering the amount of rupees that we got, I thought it made sense to just check it if you have the Moon Pearl. I mean, once you got Dark World access on South Shore, it was like, I mean, so much is open right now, so it's less lucrative maybe, but the double sword definitely made up for it.
Yeah, like I said, that was probably the main thing. The hit for the flute. The hit for the flute is in Agate Tower. The one item that threw both of you off the most.
And of course, as per usual with hints, the flute was logically required to get that hint.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah, because you had no access to any other swords without the flute. Or the lamp, you're right, yeah, the lamp is more important.
I love how often hints are just like comically out of place for being useful.
I think Willard's race yesterday, he's got the hint. He found like one of the, I think, Ether in Hera Basement, and the very next hint he found said Ether was in Hera Basement.
Yeah. In one of my Sanity races, I had a hint that the Ganon's Tower Big Key was in Hera, right behind the chest where the Ganon's Tower Big Key was. I was also, like, hints, like, as much as I'm, like, kind of divided on them when it comes to my opinion, like, sometimes they're just hilarious, and that makes it worth it.
When you say hilarious, you mean not the joke hints, because the joke hints are terrible.
Agreed, yes.
Alright. You hear that, Christos? The joke hints are terrible. You're gonna force us all to play easy mode, because in easy mode there are no joke hints.
The trick to keep everyone from practicing hard for, you know, advantages in tournaments by just, you know, there are more joke hints than hard.
If we just remove hints on hard, I think people would play more hard.
That's possible. I mean, the entire hint thing was like a big point of contention when they were announced to be 30. Like, there was debates went on for a week about the hints. It was insane.
Yeah. I admit, I partaked in them as well. It was a pretty big step in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, they're nice and all, and they are in the other randomizer games, like at least the other two most popular ones, the Zelda 1 randomizer and the Ocarina of Time randomizer.
Yeah, I feel like the original implementation that kind of set off all those debates was way, way too strong, potentially. But then they kind of toned it back a bit, and they made it a lot more balanced of a system.
Yeah, I would agree. I think they're in an okay spot right now. Like, I think some hints might still be a bit too ham-fisted, but I think it's really hard in a game like this to keep it concise and still, okay.
When you see the hint that there's a unique item in the left side of swamp and you rush swamp for the single arrow, that's when you start cursing the hints out.
Yeah. The one thing that I like is that it's changed the value of dungeons. Like, it made Hera and Ice Palace more enticing. So it kind of rebalanced the meta a little bit.
Yeah, it has
So I think that
actually
was
been.
something.
It has been actually pretty fun watching people adapt to that little bit of a change and how it's affected routing.
And with this last arrow hit, FEARAgent has killed Ganon.
And have this nice little serverless hit and mid-teleport there as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, FEARAgent is going to drop down to 1 and 9 in this group. What's the official SRL time there, Mentos?
That would be 2:01:25 for FEARAgent.
Alright, get your GGs in chat. And Steam. And we'll see if we get FEARAgent in here before he has to go do some speed gaming duties. I know that for the weekly race, which I might join. And we have him here now. GG.
Hey, GG's.
Or GG's.
So you want to talk us through your feeling when you ran into that cold stare up at Hera? I think he might have looks like he had some Discord issues because his push to talk was on, but nothing was coming out.
Gotta love when Discord just spontaneously stops picking up a mic.
Yeah. Alright, well, we probably get this figured out. Well, we'll remind you guys to, we'll give a shout out to both of our runners, FEARAgent and Eriror. We talked a little bit about what they do. FEARAgent, he is a speed gaming helper. He does a lot of work for the speed gaming daily races, which you will see in a few minutes, I believe. I believe that's coming up next year on Speed Gaming 3.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, speed. I gotta make this quick because I gotta go set up the daily race, which anybody can join. It'll be on SG4, I believe. So
Yeah, I might give that a shot today.
So yeah, GG's area. It was I thought it was a pretty good seed. I think I had Master Sword going against Cold Stare, and you don't have a lot of space to move around up on that platform. So the death really didn't tilt me that much. What tilted me is when I went to Turtle Rock and went to open Turtle Rock and realized I didn't have magic, and I couldn't think of where I could get magic, even though there's full magic in Super Bunny Cave.
Yeah.
And
I was very sad at that moment.
yeah, and then so I'm like, where do I go? I have all these like one-off spots I could check for the flute, and I just sort of got lost in my own brain. I'm like, where do I go? I got to pick one of these spots, and of course I didn't pick right, and it just sort of spiraled out from after there. I think that was the only thing that went really, really poor was Cold Stare to going back up to Cold Stare.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I think major difference was that Eri went to the waterfall and Zora right after South Shore. So he got Tempered Sword pretty much right off the bat. That really helped him.
Yeah, plus it's Eri, so I mean he's already got that advantage.
That is a pretty strong advantage.
It's been fun. The tournament has not gone the way I'd hoped, but that's not far from my expectations. And I got to get really lucky to beat Eri. I feel like I actually played pretty good. I felt like my escape was better than even normal, and I don't know. I felt good. I don't know. I felt good.
Yeah, I'd say outside of that Cold Stare death, you played pretty well throughout. You did miss out on the blue mail that was pretty freely available early, That would have
Yeah,
also
that was
given you a
after-
hand.
Yeah, that was after my tilt. That was that was after I just trying to figure out where to go, because I did the dig spot, which was dumb because I knew that Flute couldn't be there, and then I went to Agina's cave. I was just sort of like trying to figure out where to go, and so there's that whole moment. And then I'm like, okay, well, I know that there's a sword in the waterfall. Let's go get that. And then I happened to get both, so that was nice. And then I went and showed Coldstare who's the boss.
Yeah, that Cold Stare kill on the return was wonderful. You got him right into the corner there and just destroyed him.
So yeah, it was a fun seed. I hate to cut this short. I have another race today. I think it'll be on the Randomizer channel, but I got to go set up this daily race. So Harry,
while you go do that, I'll mention what's coming up for our on Speed Gaming. Keep me here on Speed Gaming 3.
Can I quickly intercept?
Oh, sure.
Okay, FEARAgent, thank you so much for all the races, and I wish you all the luck on the rest of your races that you have coming up. So, yeah, see you around. And, thank you so much, man.
Yeah. GG's, and thanks, Ari. Like, this group has been awesome. I'll just say that really quick. The O group, it's like a bunch of really good runners, and everyone wants to win, but nobody's like overly competitive or kind of mean. Like, I love running against Ari, and it's been a lot of fun. So thanks, and GG's.
We're just a group of old men, right?
That's right. See you guys later.
All right. Like I said, coming up on Speed Gaming 3 here in about an hour or so, a little less than an hour, you'll have Met7098 versus McLagging. They'll be doing inverted randomized. They'll be doing a normal inverted mode. And then on Speed Gaming 3 at 4:30, right after that race, they'll be doing race 2. So, doubleheader, that will be a normal key sanity race. So, a normal inverted and a normal key sanity between Met and McLagging and a doubleheader will be coming up on this channel, Speed Gaming 3, in about an hour. Like I said, FEARAgent has another race today. He'll be on ALTTPR Randomizer, racing a Taha Cell. Game 2, FEARAgent's Choices. It'll be a normal, open mode. Nothing else unique about that. And there's a bunch more races. Speed Gaming 5 has one at 8:30. Speed Gaming 4 has one at 9:30. Speed Gaming has one at 10:30. And yeah, make sure you follow all the Speed Gaming family of channels and all the ALTTP Randomizer channels. And again, if you want to follow FEARAgent, who, like I said, is the one of the lead helpers for the Speed Gaming daily races, which will be coming up in 20 minutes over on Speed Gaming 4. And Eriror, who races, he does a lot of NMG on his stream, but he also races Randomizer. So if you guys want to give them a follow, go ahead. And shout out again to Mentos Man, Mike Ocom, and to our tracker, Vince Easter, for doing a fantastic job.
Yep, and right back at you. It was a pleasure working with you. A pleasure watching this race. It was a very fun one.
Yeah, it was a good one to watch. All dungeons always going to be a little tricky, but with the 3 pendants out of the way early and the items pretty much falling into the runner's laps, it wasn't nothing too trolly, so it was fun to watch. On that note, I'm going to get ready to race that daily race, 15 in about 20 minutes. So I'm going to get something quick to eat and go race that.
Sounds good. Good luck to you, sir.
Good luck on the race.
Thank you. All right. On behalf of everyone here at Speed Gaming and Mentos Man, my name is Emma Rambler. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Have a good day.